Most people think the most dangerous things in their kitchen are sharp knives or maybe a slippery floor. But for seniors over 60, the real danger might be sitting quietly in the fridge right now. A single egg. Something you have eaten your entire life. Something that looks harmless, clean, and familiar. Yet the way many older adults handle this simple food can trigger infections that move through the bloodstream in hours, silent toxins that accumulate for years, and nutritional losses so severe they accelerate vision decline and memory failure. Picture this very carefully. A 72-year-old man wakes up feeling fine. He cracks an egg into a pan. He enjoys breakfast. 3 hours later, he is shivering. 6 hours later, he is in the emergency room with severe dehydration and a racing heartbeat. The test results come back and reveal the truth. The danger did not come from a restaurant or a virus or spoiled meat. It came from a tiny mistake with a perfectly normal egg he thought was safe. Now here is the part most seniors never hear. Some of the most devastating mistakes do not change the smell of the egg. They do not change the taste. They do not change the color. They hide behind the shell, waiting for the right moment to strike a weakened stomach acid level or a slower immune response. Today, I am going to expose the 7 hidden mistakes that turn eggs into a threat for older adults. Some of them are small. Some of them are shocking, and the last one is something almost every senior has done without knowing how dangerous it really is.
Before we begin, you need to know one thing. Eggs are not dangerous by themselves. The danger comes from the way older adults handle them without realizing it. Small habits, quiet shortcuts, tiny actions in the kitchen that feel safe but open the door to infections, toxins, and nutrient loss that hit seniors harder than anyone else. So let me ask you something important. How old are you? And how do you usually eat your eggs? Soft? Fried? Hard-boiled? Only whites? Your answer may reveal which of the 7 hidden mistakes you are unknowingly making. Comment below. Your story might save someone tonight. Most older adults believe the danger in an egg begins after it cracks, but the truth is far more frightening. For seniors over 60, the danger often begins long before the shell ever breaks. It begins quietly in the pan, in the fridge, and in the way heat fails to reach the places where bacteria hide. In this part, I will expose 2 of the most common mistakes made by millions of older adults every morning. These are mistakes that look harmless. These are mistakes that feel normal. Yet these are mistakes that have sent countless seniors to emergency rooms with fevers, chills, dehydration, and organ stress that could have been prevented in minutes. Let us begin with the first silent trap: runny eggs. Soft-boiled, sunny side up, poached until the yolk trembles. To many people, these dishes look rich and comforting. But to an older adult, they can become a direct pathway for bacteria to enter the bloodstream before the immune system even knows what is happening. The danger lies in the temperature. A runny yolk almost never reaches the level needed to destroy hidden bacteria. The bacteria most seniors need to fear is Salmonella. It is not on the surface. It does not smell. It does not change the taste. It lives inside the egg, hidden in the yolk and white before the shell is even formed. No amount of wiping, washing, or guessing can remove it. Only heat can. What makes this especially dangerous for seniors is the simple fact that stomach acid weakens with age. The stomach acid levels that would have killed bacteria during youth no longer work as effectively after 60. The bacteria slip through. They multiply. They travel. What would cause mild cramps in a younger adult can cause a severe infection, rapid dehydration, or even sepsis in an older adult. There are seniors who wake up feeling fine, enjoy a soft-boiled egg with toast, and then spend the night in the hospital with the temperature so high the medical team has to move quickly to stabilize them. These are not extreme cases. These are not rare stories. These are everyday events that happen because of one simple mistake that feels harmless. Imagine an older woman who enjoys dipping bread into a runny yolk every morning. She believes it is a warm way to start her day. One morning, her breakfast carries a hidden surprise. A single drop of undercooked yolk contains enough bacteria to overwhelm her weakened stomach acid. Within hours, her body is battling an invisible enemy. She shakes, she sweats, she cannot hold water. She feels pain move across her abdomen like a tightening rope. When she arrives at the emergency room, she is confused and frightened. She does not understand how something so small could have done so much damage. The truth is simple. The bacteria were waiting. They were alive. They were never destroyed because the heat was never enough. Now let us move to the second silent danger, the mistake that happens before the egg is ever cracked. The mistake that older adults rarely think about because it is hidden in the fridge. Storing eggs near strong-smelling foods. Most seniors do not know that an eggshell is not a solid wall. It has thousands of tiny pores. These pores allow air to move in and out. They also allow moisture and gases from nearby foods to enter the egg. When eggs sit near onions, garlic, fish, or leftover dishes that release strong vapors, the egg slowly absorbs the smell. But that is not the true danger. The true danger comes from the microscopic droplets that carry bacteria from other foods. These droplets enter through the pores and settle inside the egg. Now imagine an older adult who eats eggs every morning. She keeps her eggs on the fridge shelf next to cut onions and leftover fish. She assumes the fridge protects everything. She has no idea that her eggs are absorbing odors and moisture from the foods around them. When she finally cooks them, they taste slightly strange. She believes it is only the smell of onion. She does not know that bacteria from nearby food may have seeped into the egg and grown quickly in the cold. People over 60 have slower immune responses. Their bodies cannot fight bacteria with the speed and strength of their younger years. A small contamination for a younger person may be a major infection for a senior. The consequences can be severe. Some people develop digestive stress that leaves them weak for days. Others develop infections that spread rapidly through the body. There are seniors who face long hospital stays because of a single breakfast omelet made from eggs that absorbed moisture from neighboring foods. The saddest part is that they never knew the danger existed. They had no warning. There was no smell, no color change, no visible sign that the egg had been compromised. It looked normal. It felt normal, yet inside it was quietly changing. There is also another hidden effect: nutrient loss. Eggs stored near strong-smelling foods lose important nutrients at a faster rate. Vitamin A declines, lutein fades. These are nutrients older adults rely on to protect their eyes and brain. A senior who depends on eggs for daily nourishment may not realize that careless storage is stripping away the very nutrients they need most. So what is the solution? It is simple. Keep eggs in their original carton. The carton protects the shell and blocks the movement of strong odors. Store the eggs in the coldest part of the fridge, not the door. The door is warm and unstable. Temperature changes weaken the egg. Inside the main compartment, the egg stays colder and safer. These two mistakes are among the most common and most dangerous for older adults. A runny yolk may look beautiful, but inside it may hold bacteria waiting for the chance to overwhelm a weakened immune system. A poorly stored egg may look fine, but it may have already absorbed moisture, odors, and bacteria that will not reveal themselves until it is too late. The danger is not dramatic. It is silent. It moves quietly through the kitchen. It hides behind clean shells and familiar routines. These mistakes are simple to avoid, and the solutions are easy, but only if you know the truth.
There are kitchen habits that look safe, habits that feel efficient, habits that older adults repeat simply because they have done so for years. But some of these habits create the perfect conditions for injuries, burns, infections, and silent bacterial growth that can turn a healthy senior into an emergency patient in a single afternoon. In this part, we will expose two of the most underestimated dangers in the kitchen. One comes from heat,
the other comes from water. Together, they create a chain reaction that many older adults never see coming until their health collapses without warning. Let us begin with a danger that explodes without mercy: microwaving boiled eggs. Most younger adults already know this is risky, but many seniors still do it because it seems convenient. You take a boiled egg from the fridge, it is cold. You put it in the microwave for 10 or 20 seconds. You want it warm. Nothing seems wrong. But inside the egg, a deadly transformation begins. Steam builds, pressure rises, moisture trapped inside the egg cannot escape. The egg becomes a sealed pressure vessel, and the moment a spoon or fork or even your teeth break the surface, the entire egg can explode with the force that sends boiling fragments into your mouth, face, or hands. For an older adult, this is far more than a painful accident. Skin becomes thinner with age, healing slows, burns become infections. A single explosion can cause second-degree burns on the lips, the tongue, or inside the mouth. Some seniors lose the ability to eat comfortably for weeks. Others require wound care. Some develop infections that spread into deeper tissue. Emergency rooms see these cases every year. The patient arrives shocked and confused. They say the same words again and again. "I only warmed it for a moment. I thought it was harmless. No one ever told me it could explode." But the shock does not end with burns. When an egg is reheated in a microwave, the proteins change. They become rubbery. They become more difficult to break down. Seniors already struggle with reduced stomach acid and slower digestion. The altered proteins cause bloating, pressure, and discomfort that may last for hours. What seems like a shortcut quickly becomes a trigger for digestive stress. Many older adults believe they ate something spoiled, when the real cause was the microwave. Now imagine this situation. A 70-year-old man wants a quick breakfast. He microwaves a boiled egg. He bites into it. The egg detonates like a tiny grenade. The hot yolk hits his tongue. He drops the egg. He gasps in pain. Minutes later, he feels his lips swelling. The skin blisters. The pain spreads. By afternoon, he is in the emergency room, dehydrated and shaking. A simple warming step has destroyed his entire day and put him at risk for infection. This is the danger that hides in convenience. But the second mistake is even more deceptive because it looks safe. Washing eggs under water. Many older adults believe they are protecting themselves when they rinse eggs before putting them in the fridge. They want to remove dirt. They want to remove germs. They want to keep the kitchen clean. But washing eggs before storage is one of the most dangerous habits for older adults. Eggs have a natural protective layer called the bloom. This layer seals the tiny pores on the surface. It blocks bacteria. It prevents moisture from entering. It keeps the egg fresh and safe. But the moment you wash the egg under warm water or running tap water, the bloom disappears. Those pores open. Bacteria can now slip inside. The egg becomes vulnerable. It begins to change silently inside the fridge. It looks normal. It feels normal, but its internal defenses are gone. This danger is multiplied in seniors because their immune systems weaken with age. Bacteria that would have caused mild stomach upset in a younger person can cause severe infection in an older adult. A washed egg that sits in the fridge for several days can develop bacterial growth invisible to the eye. You cannot smell it. You cannot taste it. You cannot detect it. But once the egg is cracked and cooked, the bacteria enter the body. They move through weakened stomach acid and begin multiplying. Picture a senior who washes every egg before placing it in the fridge. She feels responsible. She believes she is doing the right thing. She stores them neatly. She feels proud of her cleanliness. A week later, she makes scrambled eggs for breakfast. Within hours, she feels nausea. She blames stress or fatigue. By evening, she is vomiting. Her heart races. Her muscles ache. She becomes weak. When she arrives at the hospital, the doctors discover a bacterial infection linked to eggs that were washed and stored days earlier. She never expected water to be the cause. She believed washing was a protective act, but washing became the very thing that put her in danger. Another hidden problem is that water can force bacteria inside the egg. When cold eggs are washed under warm water, the temperature difference creates suction. The pores pull water inward. If there are bacteria on the shell, they get pulled inside with it. Older adults often don't know this. They wash eggs like they wash fruit or vegetables.
they do not realize that they are undoing the natural protection nature built into the egg. The consequences do not need to be dramatic to be dangerous. Some seniors experience days of fatigue. Others lose appetite. Some develop severe dehydration. Others face long recoveries because their bodies cannot fight the infection quickly. Many cases go unreported because older adults assume they caught a virus or ate something bad at a restaurant. They do not think the problem came from inside their own fridge. The solution is simple. Never wash eggs before storing them. Keep them in the original carton. The carton protects the shell and limits temperature fluctuations. If the egg looks dirty, wipe it gently right before cooking, not before storage. Store the eggs in the coldest part of the fridge so bacteria cannot grow. Microwaving boiled eggs and washing eggs before storage are two habits that many older adults repeat without thinking. They look innocent. They feel safe. But one can cause explosive burns. The other can turn a clean egg into a bacterial hazard waiting for the right moment to strike. For older adults, these mistakes carry risks far greater than inconvenience. They threaten comfort. They threaten independence. They threaten health.
There are two mistakes older adults make with eggs that do not cause sudden explosions or instant illness. Instead, they create quiet destruction, slow decline, a steady weakening that creeps into the body day after day, year after year, until one morning the eyesight has dimmed, the memory has slipped, or the joints ache in ways that once felt impossible. These two mistakes do not scream for attention. They whisper. They blend into routine. And because they do not hurt right away, seniors repeat them over and over, never realizing that the damage is stacking up like invisible layers inside their blood, eyes, brain, and heart. Let us begin with the mistake that hides in the frying pan. Cooking eggs in scratched non-stick pans. At first it looks harmless, a small scratch, a little scuff, a coating that has worn down over the years. Seniors look at that old pan the way they look at a comfortable pair of shoes. It still works. It still cooks. Why replace it? But under heat, that scratched surface becomes a factory for toxins. The coating releases microscopic particles that move straight into the food. These particles enter the body with every bite. They settle in the liver. They settle in the kidneys. They settle in the bloodstream. And the worst part is that they never leave. They build up. They accumulate. They slowly poison the body one meal at a time. Scientists have studied these particles. They are called polyfluorinated substances. They are linked to thyroid damage. They are linked to hormone disruption. They are linked to liver stress. They are linked to immune suppression. They travel through the blood and attach themselves to organs, where they sit like silent intruders waiting to create chaos. For younger adults, the body may handle small amounts. But for older adults whose detox systems have slowed and whose organs have already endured decades of stress, these toxins do not just accumulate, they attack. Imagine a senior who cooks eggs every morning in a pan she has used for 15 years. The surface glitters with tiny scratches. She does not think twice. She fries an egg. She eats it. She feels normal. But inside, her body, tiny particles drift into her bloodstream. They reach her liver. They irritate her thyroid. They suppress her immune cells just a little each day. A few months later, she feels tired more often. A few years later, she develops hormonal imbalance. She blames aging. She blames stress. She never suspects the pan because it never caused pain or discomfort. But the pan was leaking toxins into her body long before she felt the consequences. Now let us move to the second mistake in this section, a mistake that looks healthy on the surface, but deprives the body of some of the most critical nutrients seniors need. Eating only egg whites and throwing away the yolk. The idea began decades ago when people were told cholesterol was the enemy. Seniors were taught that the yolk is dangerous, that the yolk harms the heart, that the yolk must be avoided. And so many older adults cracked eggs and let the yolk slide into the trash, believing they were protecting themselves.
But in doing so, they threw away the very nutrients that protect the eyes, the brain, the heart, and the muscles. The yolk is not the enemy. The yolk is the medicine. It contains lutein and zeaxanthin, nutrients that build the protective layer inside the eyes. Without them, the retina becomes vulnerable to damage. Screens cause strain. Sunlight causes faster aging. Vision slowly fades. Some seniors blame genetics. Others blame age. They never consider that the missing yolks they tossed away for years took away the nutrients their eyes needed most. The yolk contains choline. Choline builds acetylcholine. Acetylcholine powers memory. It fuels focus. It strengthens communication between brain cells. When a senior lacks choline, memory falters, thoughts slip, names disappear, conversations fade. Many older adults think this is normal aging. They do not realize that years of eating only egg whites deprive their brain of essential building blocks. The yolk also carries healthy fats that cushion the heart, reduce inflammation, and protect the nervous system. Seniors who avoid yolks often feel weak. They lose muscle mass faster. They feel colder. Their joints become stiff. They blame age, but the truth is that their body is starving for the nutrients they have been throwing away for decades. Now imagine this. An older woman wants to take care of her heart. She avoids yolks for 20 years. She eats only whites. At first, she feels fine, but slowly her vision weakens. Her memory loses sharpness. Her joints begin to ache. Her doctor tells her she is developing early macular degeneration. She wonders why it is happening. She never realizes that she has been removing the very nutrients that could have slowed or prevented these changes. The most dangerous part of these two mistakes is how silent they are. There is no sudden pain, no instant warning, no urgent symptom. They slip under the radar, disguised as convenience and health. The scratched pan looks harmless. The egg white looks clean and pure. Seniors repeat these habits every day, but inside the body, damage builds. And when the consequences finally appear, they are often irreversible. So what is the solution? If your non-stick pan is scratched, throw it away. Not later. Now. Replace it with stainless steel, cast iron, or ceramic. It's not worth the risk of toxin exposure. Every meal cooked in a damaged pan releases more particles that your body cannot remove. For seniors, this is not an inconvenience. It is a matter of long-term health. And as for the yolk, embrace it. Eat it. Do not fear it. The cholesterol in eggs do not harm most seniors. Modern research shows that one whole egg a day is safe for older adults and provides powerful nutrients the body cannot produce on its own. The yolk feeds the brain. It feeds the eyes. It feeds the heart. It supports the muscles. It protects the nerves. It gives seniors the natural compounds they need to stay sharp, strong, steady, and independent. These two mistakes may seem unrelated, but they are connected by one frightening truth. They rob the body silently. They take away strength. They steal clarity. They weaken the defenses that seniors need most. The scratched pan poisons the body quietly. The missing yolk starves the body slowly. And older adults often do not see the consequences until serious health problems emerge. The kitchen should be a place of nourishment. But for many seniors, these mistakes turn it into a slow battlefield where toxins and deficiencies chip away at health without mercy. Now that you know the truth, you can protect yourself. You can choose better tools. You can choose whole nourishment. You can choose habits that build strength rather than steal it.
There is one egg mistake that stands above all others. The mistake that hospital doctors fear the most. The mistake that looks harmless. The mistake that fools almost every senior because the egg looks clean, smells normal, and feels safe. This is the mistake that has put countless older adults into emergency rooms with infections so severe that even strong antibiotics struggle to control them. The most dangerous mistake of all is eating expired eggs or eggs with even the smallest crack in the shell.
For younger adults, this may cause discomfort or a stomachache, but for seniors, the consequences can be devastating. What makes this mistake so dangerous is that the danger does not shout. It whispers, it hides, it spreads silently inside the egg, while the outside stays perfect. A cracked shell is not just a cosmetic flaw. It is an open door. The moment the shell is compromised, the natural protection is gone. Bacteria do not need much space. A hairline crack is enough. A nearly invisible fracture is enough. Once the shell breaks, even slightly, the egg becomes a capsule where bacteria can enter, grow, multiply, and transform a fresh egg into a bacterial bomb waiting to explode inside the body of an older adult. Inside the egg, a slow war begins. The proteins break down. The pH level rises. The membrane weakens. Nutrients degrade, and bacteria thrive in this warm and nutrient-rich environment. The longer the egg sits, the more dangerous it becomes. Seniors assume if the egg looks fine, then it is fine. But bacteria do not change the color of the shell. They do not change the smell until the egg is severely spoiled. They do not change the texture. They move silently until the egg becomes a perfect vessel for infection. Now, let us talk about expired eggs. Many older adults do the same thing every week. They buy eggs, they store them, they forget about them. When they see the date is old, they do a quick smell test or simply tell themselves it is probably still good. For some seniors, throwing out food feels wasteful. Others grew up in a time when expiration dates did not exist. Many believe eggs last forever in the fridge, but after the expiration date, the protective layer weakens. The inside starts to change. Gases form, proteins dissolve, bacteria multiply at a much faster rate. An expired egg becomes unstable and dangerous. Imagine this. An older man wakes up early. He finds 2 eggs sitting in the fridge. The date passed 2 weeks ago. He cracks them into a pan. The yolks look normal. The whites look normal. He cooks them and eats them without worry. 3 hours later, he feels pressure in his stomach. 5 hours later, he cannot stand with dizziness. His skin is cold. His heart races. He vomits. He becomes confused. By the evening, he is in the emergency room, barely able to speak. The doctors examine him quickly. Tests show a severe bacterial infection that has already entered his bloodstream. His organs are under stress. The source is not fish or meat or leftovers. It is the expired eggs he thought were harmless. Now picture the cracked egg scenario. A senior woman buys a carton of eggs. One egg has a tiny crack from transportation. She does not notice it. She puts the carton into the fridge. Over the next 3 days, bacteria enter through the crack and begin multiplying at an alarming rate. She cooks the egg without seeing the flaw. She eats it. Later that day, she feels a fever building. She feels chills. She cannot keep water down. Her body shakes. Her condition declines rapidly. By night, she's rushed into the hospital, fighting against an infection her immune system cannot control. This is what makes the cracked egg so dangerous. The opening may be so tiny that the senior never sees it, but bacteria see it. They move in, they claim the inside of the egg as their home, and when an older adult eats that egg, the bacteria are delivered straight into a weakened digestive system without any barrier strong enough to protect the body. The scientific truth is harsh. Seniors over 60 have lower stomach acid and slower immune response. Their digestive systems cannot destroy bacteria the way younger bodies can. When bacteria enter the stomach, they survive longer. They spread faster. They enter the bloodstream more easily. Once inside the blood, they can reach the kidneys, the liver, the heart, and even the brain. This is where the true danger lies. A cracked or expired egg does not just cause food poisoning, it can cause septicemia, a full-body infection, a life-threatening medical emergency. Some seniors lose consciousness. Some collapse from dehydration. Some require days of intravenous fluids. Others require antibiotics strong enough to damage the kidneys. A few never fully recover, and many cases could have been prevented simply by recognizing that eggs are not always safe just because they look safe. Let us focus on the signs that most older adults miss. A cracked egg may dry slightly at the crack. It may leak microscopic moisture. The egg white may become thinner. The yolk may break more easily. These changes are subtle, nearly invisible. Elderly eyesight may not catch them, but bacteria do not miss their chance. They enter quickly. They multiply efficiently. They turn the egg into a chamber of microbial activity. Expired eggs show another subtle sign. When placed in water, they float. This is because gas forms inside the egg as it decays. But seniors rarely test eggs this way. They trust their eyes. They trust habit. They trust memories from decades ago when food was handled differently. But the body at 60 or 70 is not the body at 20, and a senior digestive system cannot tolerate what a young body can. Now, let us discuss the emotional toll. Seniors who suffer from egg-related infections often feel betrayed by their own kitchen. They feel confused. They don't understand why a simple breakfast made them so sick. Many feel frightened. They lose trust in their routines. Some stop eating eggs entirely. Others blame age or fate. But the truth is that they were never warned. No one told them that cracked eggs and expired eggs are the most dangerous eggs of all. Here is the simple truth every senior must remember. When in doubt, throw it out. Eggs are affordable. Hospital bills are not. Risking your health because you want to avoid wasting a few cents is not worth the cost. A cracked egg is not safe. An expired egg is not safe. If the shell is compromised, the egg is compromised. If the date has passed, the egg has changed in ways the eye cannot see. And for seniors, the consequences are not mild. They are severe. They are sudden. They are dangerous. Protect yourself. Check the shell. Check the date. Use the float test. Keep only the eggs you trust. And never forget that the smallest crack can carry the greatest danger.
You have now seen the truth that most older adults never hear until it is too late. The danger of eggs does not come from the egg itself. It comes from the way small habits weaken your body one meal at a time. Runny yolks that allow hidden bacteria to slip into the bloodstream. Poor storage that lets odors and contaminated moisture seep through the shell. Microwave reheating that turns a simple breakfast into an explosive injury. Washing eggs that strips away the natural protection and gives bacteria a direct doorway inside. Scratched pans that leak toxins into the food quietly for years. Throwing away the yolk that your eyes, brain, and heart desperately need. And the most dangerous mistake of all, cracked eggs and expired eggs that masquerade as safe while carrying infections powerful enough to send a senior into a medical emergency within hours. These mistakes do not look dramatic. They look ordinary. They blend into the rhythm of daily life. That is what makes them deadly. Seniors do not feel the danger until it is already inside the body. They do not sense the infection until it spreads. They do not notice the decline until it becomes impossible to ignore. But now you know the truth. Now you understand the hidden threats, and now you have the power to protect yourself. If you have ever made any of these mistakes, do not blame yourself. No one taught you these things. No one warned you. Most people never learn these truths in their entire lives. But today you did. Today you discovered the simple changes that can protect your stomach, your heart, your eyes, your brain, and your independence. And before you go, I want to hear from you. Which of these mistakes shocked you the most? Have you ever eaten runny eggs without knowing the risk? Have you ever used a scratched pan? Have you ever kept eggs longer than you should? Share your story in the comments. Your experience may be the warning that saves another senior tonight. If this video opened your eyes, do not keep it to yourself. Press like so the message reaches more older adults. Share it with a friend or family member who eats eggs every day. And make sure you subscribe so you never miss the life-saving guidance we bring. Your health is your strength. Your health is your future. Protect it starting today.